And we are back with another segment of Just Parlay's NBA Plays, where I'm be providing you all with my NBA plays for that particular day. And we got our plays for today, this lovely Friday, November 12th. I got a bunch of plays today, honestly, because there's a lot of NBA games going on tonight that I'm feeling pretty confident about. So I guess we're going to start off with my separation of plays. I do three different categories. I do my definites, my shoulds, and my coulds. My definites are games that I'm extremely confident in. And like I said, this is my most confident picks. My shoulds are things that I think should happen, but I wouldn't consider it a lock in happening. Like, I could potentially see it messing up, but I think it should happen. And then I have my coulds. These are the most risky bets that I make. These are bets that I think could happen. I wouldn't bank too much on it, put too much of my bankroll on it. However, I think that there's a strong possibility of it happening. Okay, so I'll start off with my most confident bets, my definites. First things first, we're going to go off with the Los Angeles Lakers. We're going to start off with the Los Angeles Lakers beating the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers won their last two games, and the Minnesota Timberwolves have lost their last six, even though Minnesota Timberwolves last game out. Ooh, that boy Anthony Edwards went crazy against the Golden State Warriors, even though they did lose. Anthony Edwards is coming off a 48-piece. That boy is cold. However, today is Russell Westbrook's birthday, and he's coming off back-to-back triple-doubles. I actually played him getting a triple-double and the Lakers winning the last two games, even though I parlayed it with the Bears winning. You know how that went. And I parlayed it with something else that I ended up failing. So I didn't get the cash out on the enormous odds. However, I think Russell Westbrook goes for 3 straight triple-doubles and 3 straight Laker wins. I would just go with the Lakers straight up, but I'm personally, if you want to get a little more risky, I'll put the player prop of Russell Westbrook scoring, getting a triple-double with points, rebounds, and assists as well on top of the Lakers winning, sending Russell Westbrook home with a lovely happy birthday. My next pick on the definites would be the Denver Nuggets beating the Atlanta Hawks. The Denver Nuggets just won their last game, even though they were missing Nikola Jokic, due to suspension. They did beat the Indiana Pacers, even though the Indiana Pacers isn't a very credible team. However, the Denver Nuggets are looking good. They are looking even better ever since Nikola Jokic did what he did to Markieff Morris, and the Heat are trending in the opposite direction. Ever since that situation happened, the Denver Nuggets have won their last two games, and the Miami Heat have lost their last two, and I got the Denver Nuggets extending their winning streak to 3, with Jokic getting back on the floor tonight. Cook the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks are also in the funk, so it's kind of easy to bet against them. They have lost their last 5 games. I think they haven't won a game since Trae Young said the regular season is easy and boring. He wants to play for the playoffs. So I'm definitely going with the Denver Nuggets if you want to add a player prop to make this bet a little more enticing, because I believe the Denver Nuggets are the favorites going into this game. You can add a Nikola Jokic double-double. That's pretty reliable typically on most days in the NBA season. And my last definite for tonight will be the Brooklyn Nets beating the New Orleans Pelicans, as they should. The New Orleans Pelicans have lost their last 8 games. They straight up stink. Brandon Ingram was missing most of the time. Brandon Ingram could play tonight, but I really think it doesn't matter whether he plays or he doesn't play unless Zion Williamson suits up. I think Jonas Valanciunas, he does his thing. He cooks, he eats the Brooklyn Nets center, because the Brooklyn Nets don't have much of a presence at center. However, I don't see how the New Orleans Pelicans stand a remote chance against the Brooklyn Nets. James Harden might get another triple-double tonight. That might be a way to cut the price for you, because the price is at about minus 400, meaning that you gotta bet $400 to only win $100. I don't think it's all that worth it. So in order to cut that price, what you could do is couple that with James Harden getting a double-double. I think that's more certain. However, I think he gets a triple-double tonight, because I want to be a little more risky. But my certainty would be the Brooklyn Nets just straight up winning. So that's my definite picks for today. Like I said, I got the Los Angeles Lakers winning straight up, the Denver Nuggets winning straight up, and I have the Brooklyn Nets winning straight up. Now my shoulds for November 12th, I'll first start off with the Dallas Mavericks beating the San Antonio Spurs as they should. Obviously, the Dallas Mavericks are the better team. That's not much of a debate here. 7-14 versus 4-17. Luka Doncic's first year versus San Antonio, he got swept. Ever since then, he's been cooking the San Antonio Spurs. He'll win the first 3 games of the season series and then lose the final one. I think that's going to happen again this year. You just count on Luka Doncic losing the last game of their matchup. These two teams still have, outside of tonight, they do have another matchup as the last game of the season. I think the Spurs win there. I don't think they win here tonight. They have been playing better. They just came off a big one last time out. However, I don't think they have enough to deal with Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis has been on, as well as Tim Hardaway Jr. I think this should be a clean, easy one. Only reason why I didn't make this a definite pick is because they did win 2 games in a row already, and you just never know if a team gets mental exhaustion from beating the same team over and over again. So, just like they let one slip through the cracks. However, it's a mismatch. The Dallas Mavericks should steamroll them. So my next pick on these shows, like I said, my second most confident picks, I would say the Cleveland Cavaliers beating the Detroit Pistons. Detroit Pistons are 2-8. They just won their last game. You saw the Jalen Green versus Cade Cunningham show. The Detroit Pistons just beat horrible teams. That's it. They beat the Orlando Magic and the Houston Rockets. That's not saying much. The Cleveland Cavaliers, however, are 7-5, even though they are missing Colin Sexton due to injury. That dude, Ricky Rubio, got this team looking really good. They have upset some superb teams. They lost their last game, but they were just on a win streak just before that, where they were the underdogs every single night that they played, and they upset that particular team. Just their last outing versus the Washington Wizards is another team that was looking really good, and it came down to the wire. I wouldn't even put that against the Cleveland Cavaliers and say that was a fluke. The Washington Wizards has been cooking too. I think this is an easy win. This should be a definite. Only reason why I'm not making it a definite, because at the end of the day, the Cleveland Cavaliers are the Cleveland Cavaliers. It's not like they're gonna stay at you never know. You really honestly never know, but they're not historically known outside of having LeBron James for being a reliable team. That's why I can't put them as a definite, but there's really no reason that they should lose this game. And if you want to cut the price and make the bet more profitable, I would say a pretty certain bet would probably be to couple the Cleveland Cavaliers winning along with Jared Allen getting a double-double, make it more lucrative. I don't think there's much to say here. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers easily win. Now, my most risky should bet, and only because it's kind of hard to bet against this team, I definitely have I have the Hornets should beat the New York Knicks. The Charlotte Hornets should beat the New York Knicks tonight. That's a tough one. The Charlotte Hornets, they were on a 5-game losing streak until their last time out versus the Memphis Grizzlies. I definitely cashed out on that underdog. They're playing the New York Knicks. That's a tough matchup right there. Very tough matchup. The New York Knicks are healthy. Mitchell Robinson is coming back. The Charlotte Hornets have not looked good as of late, and it's their first game home after that West Coast road trip where they just got smoked in L.A. Not in L.A., in California, the state of California. They lost 4 straight games in the state of California. That was crazy. What was it? The Kings, the Warriors, Clippers, and the Lakers. However, the Charlotte Hornets, they're a really good team. Nothing to be slept on. The New York Knicks are a really good team on the road so far this season. They should be the better team coming into this matchup. However, the only thing is the New York Knicks, they're not as defensively dominant as they were last year, even though they are more talented this year. That's what makes the matchup even more tricky and interesting. And the Charlotte Hornets offense is it's really good. It's really good. Despite their recent struggles, the Charlotte Hornet offense is pretty good. And if the New York Knicks lock in, it should be an easy win for them. However, I don't think the New York Knicks will lock in. I think LaMelo Ball does his thing. Miles Bridges does his thing, and they get 2 straight wins on the state of New York because they did beat the Brooklyn Nets earlier this season in Brooklyn. I think they're getting a win on the New York Knicks tonight. So I think they should beat the Knicks. Now I got my last bet. This is the last bracket, my coulds. I only have one could, and this is a super risky bet. Like I said, my definites, most confident bets, I got the Lakers, I got the Nuggets, and I got the Nets tonight. Now my shoulds, got the Dallas Mavericks winning, got the Cleveland Cavaliers winning, and the Charlotte Hornets winning. Now my only could for the night, I think the Houston Rockets upset the Portland Trail Blazers. The Portland Trail Blazers are winless on the road. Yeah, they are playing on the road. They are winless right now on the road. They're about 0-6. So that's not encouraging to bet upon. Like, even though they are playing the Houston Rockets, one of the worst teams in the league at 1-10. The Portland Trail Blazers aren't particularly known for their defense, which could really as good of an offensive team as they are. Like, if you don't play defense, what does it really matter? It's kind of how they lost to the Denver Nuggets last year in the first round of the playoffs. I thought the Portland Trail Blazers offense was clearly better than the Denver Nuggets offense just on paper, because the Denver Nuggets really just had Nikola Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. as opposed to, Dame Lillard, CJ McCollum, Carmelo Anthony, Robert Covington, Yusuf Nurkic. Like, the Portland Trail Blazers had it all. However, they just played no defense. That's why Austin Rivers was lighting them up. Composer was making them look crazy. So it's like, at the end of the day, if Damian Lillard making step back threes over double teams, like, that's great and all, but what is that to an Austin Rivers layup? And that's how I look at this game right here. Kevin Porter Jr. might be playing tonight. This is an easy opportunity for dude to potentially show himself as like one of those dudes against a guy like Damian Lillard. That the younger guys always got a extra motivation when they're playing against a top tier guy in the NBA. I think this is a very interesting underdog, only because even though the Houston Rockets have lost their last 9 games, the Portland Trail Blazers don't play defense, and they are winless on the road. They are playing in Houston. So I think it's definitely an interesting game. So those are my picks, my plays for today. JusParlay's NBA plays for November 12th. Like I said, my definites, Lakers, Nuggets, and Nets. My shoulds, Mavs, Cavs, and Hornets. And my could is the Houston Rockets. And that's your plays for today.